up, everybody? It's Jordan. Time for episode 2. Super stoked about this one, guys. Super terrified. Today I'm going to be sharing a story that I've never, ever told anyone to answer my least favorite question of all time about the past 5 years of my life while I was launching my former brainchild, Health Snaps. And these questions were, how's it going? How's your startup? What do you even do every single day? I hated those questions so freaking much. And I'm going to explain why and tell the entire story of what happened with Health Snaps, why we had to kill it, and what brought me down this path of digital marketing to become the chief growth officer of UpDoc Media. And I think it's sharing the story scares me a lot, okay? I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like all tingly and super nervous about this one. But I think it's incredibly important for me to share it because I want my students, my clients, and anyone that takes advice from me to understand kind of where I came from and the things that I went through, and why you might want to listen to me, because maybe you've been through a lot of the same things that I have. So all of this started back in college. It's my first semester, no idea what I wanted to do with my life. The only thing that I knew is that I could not be in the corporate world. I couldn't do it. I grew up, both my parents worked their faces off every single day, especially my dad. I had to relocate, move around states a few times when I was really little. And the guy just worked. He was a horse, man, a workhorse. So much so that I didn't really know my dad. I don't really have memories of my dad until I was about 5 years old. And through that, and just because he's still so busy, it was hard to grow a relationship. And, that really impacted me because, I saw these families that were just like best friends, they're super close, and just I know I wanted that. I knew I needed to do something with my life that would allow me to be with my kids every single day, give them and my wife, my future wife, all the attention she deserves, and just have time to do the things that I wanted to do and not be a slave to, whatever job I was in at the time. So it wasn't too long in college where I met a couple buddies and we ended up, we started building apps and got obsessed with the idea of launching our own company, because at the time, Flappy Birds just came out and we were like, this is the easiest game to build ever, and they're making like billions with a B. So we started making games. The first one was a Hungry Monkey. It was a little monkey that skated around and caught apples in his mouth. That was more for fun than for any revenue generating purposes, but that was kind of the journey that started us down this path. And didn't have jobs. We're doing everything we could to launch this company. Eventually started a program called Health Connection. It was the physical therapy software that would later become Health Snaps. And so the only way we could make this work was by not having jobs. We had to put all of our effort into this thing. And so that meant things got really hard. And we did this for a really long time. Eventually went on to win business pitch competitions at the university I was going to, get into accelerator programs, all this cool, flashy stuff that seems, really cool, on the outside. But what people didn't see was the stress and all the things that came with it. There was times where I didn't have food. I didn't have money for food. We were broke. We're making money through these pitch contests and these accelerator programs, but the business was making money, not us. If we couldn't afford to pay ourselves, because then we would run out of money and the dream would be gone. So even though the business was making money, we were flat broke, and that's what people don't realize in entrepreneurship. Like, you might be making money, but the entrepreneur, if they're doing it right, they are not making money because they're reinvesting it into their business. And that's what we were doing. And it was hard. I remember there were some weeks that were just so bad. There was a week where the only thing I had to eat was rice and raisins. And that shook me. That was rough. And I've never told anyone that publicly outside of my own team. But people don't realize like how hard things would get. So in order to like keep myself afloat and to keep my freaking sanity and self-worth, I needed to find a way to start making money on the side so I could, not die as I was trying to launch Health Connection. So, so I started running Facebook ads for local businesses, mostly physical therapy practices, because I was already in connection with them by trying to sell them Health Connection and figuring out, okay, what kind of stuff do you want for the product? Anyway, had connections with these people, started doing digital marketing for them. So all the things I was feeling during this time, people don't see, because in the entrepreneurship world, especially early stage startups, you have to put on this facade, the whole fake it till you make it thing, because no one wants to believe in or invest with someone that's just crushed, that's just so losing their mind. Everyone wants to know, it's like, this guy really has it together, like he's really confident. So you got to put on that kind of show for people a lot of the time. But if I'm being honest, man, there's a lot of days where I just felt like a loser. You work and work and work. You stop hanging out with your friends to work because you don't want to fail. And you just, when things aren't working, it's hard not to just get down on yourself and just think, maybe I'm the problem. Like maybe I'm just not good enough and don't have what it takes. And it stunks. And it stunk, and you go through all these things. You go and talk to doctors and try to sell to them, and they just shoot you down because you're just this kid, man. Like, and so you fail and you fail and you fail, and it's hard not to think of yourself as just a complete loser. And I would get stressed out of my mind. My partner Max, and some days he'd be like, dude, like I wish I could just shake you and just pull you out of your head, because like everything that's going on in there is not true. Guys, what's between your ears is your worst enemy towards productivity and doing the things you actually want to do. So you got to learn how to shut that up and not listen to it, because it's crazy. Maybe I'm a little crazier than most people. I bet that I'm crazier than most people. But most of the time, don't listen to what's in your head. Just keep going. But literally, guys, you put so much into it, and the failure isn't an option. And when failure is not an option, there's things in your life you have to cut out. And so the first thing that went, I was in college, obviously, so I was a bit of a party guy, enjoyed going out, having fun with my friends. That was the first thing to go, besides food and ordering Jimmy John's. That was the real first thing to go. Second thing to go was going to parties, hanging out with my friends. And I literally started losing friends. People would say that I've changed. Like, man, this is the best time of your life. Like, you should just be enjoying every minute of it. And in my head, I'm like, are you crazy? I don't want this to be the best time of my life. Are you serious? Like, no, I'm going to stay over here and work. And then, some people were just like, whatever, man. And, I lost a lot of good friends and people that meant the world to me. But that's all part of the process. You got to thin out your crowd and find the people that's going to help you get to where you want to be. And ultimately, where I wanted to be is to have real control over my life. I don't want my life to be dictated, or my value to be dictated by a paycheck or an hourly wage. I refuse to do that. All right, I set my own value, and if it's all on me, that's the way I like it. If I fail, it's my fault. If I succeed, it's because I worked my butt off. Shouldn't be swearing, so butt off. But on the outside, that's not what people saw. People saw me just working my face off every single day, acting like I had it all together. Like, oh, how's Health Connection? How's the startup? I'm like, great. It's going really good. We just closed another clinic. They're starting to use it, and got a bunch of trials going. It's going really good, man. It's going really good. Making money, and the real case was I was making money through pitch contests and accelerator programs, not really revenue, which is like what it's all about. So, it was, you had to put on a show, because that's what people put their money into. They want to hear the positive, adventurous, the conqueror, the Caesar coming in and just winning the battles, and that's what gets people to buy into you, especially investors and accelerator programs. So you had to hide your emotion, and you just had to bury it and have the mental fortitude to just swallow it and just know that things are going to get better very, very soon. So we went on through those positive feelings to just burying down all the negative things that were actually going on. We were able to get into several different big accelerators, actually. They gave us a lot of funding. It was a huge honor, actually. So we're getting into all these programs, and people thought it was amazing, and they're like, oh my God, you're like so successful, like what? And I'm like, dude, like if you only knew how many times I was sleeping on a couch, how many times I like didn't eat food, or I eat freaking rice and raisins. Are you kidding me? No, I don't think I'm as successful. So I was like, sometimes it just annoyed the heck out of me that people thought that. And like when people would ask, that's why it drove me nuts, because I'd have to put on this fake BS about how things were really going and not tell them. It's like, dude, I'm losing my freaking mind. This stuff is hard. Yeah, things are going good on the outside, but like mentally, it is so taxing. It is insane. So it's launching this business, and things were actually looking up. Things were going really well. We're in a couple hospitals, a lot of really big names using our stuff, and we're actually starting to make some serious money. But then, at the peak of it, when it all started seem to be coming together, we hit a wall, and this was a hard one. This was more recently. We ran out of money. We have to have really expensive servers that would actually keep people's health data protected. And as I'm sure you can imagine, you got to have very secure systems in order to be dealing with medical data. And that's what we were doing. And that is extremely expensive. So we ran out of money for a lot of different reasons. And we didn't really have any options to move forward. I refused to go and raise money because at the time, given our current cap table, which is how many people already have equity in your company, it would have been a very hard sell, and we didn't have the revenue to prove a valuation that would be reasonable. Which means if we went and raised a round, we would have had to give up way too much of our company. I wasn't willing to do that anymore. I wasn't willing to give up control over my baby. So we had to shut it down. I had to, cut my losses, swallow the fact that I failed. And guys, I gotta tell you, that still hurts. Even though I'm on to bigger and better things now, like it hurts. That was my identity. That was my life. That's what I did for 5 years of my life. Yeah, it stunk. But those are the situations that really turn you into who you want to be and really tests your grit as an entrepreneur. This is another moment where it's like, crap, I'm at ground zero. I can either go get a job, move back at home, or I can go all in and leave it all on me to make something work. And that's what I was going to do, because getting a job for me is not an option. I will never go and get a job. That's just it's not who I am. I won't. All right? And I would refuse to go and ask my parents for money. I just can't do that to them. I know they would. I love my parents. But this is actually a lesson that one of my mentors taught me, Steve Larson. His dad told him when he was in a very similar situation, he went and asked his dad for money because he was in a desperate situation. And his dad told him, son, I can't do that. Because if I give you money now, you will not exhaust all the resources you didn't know you had. Yeah. Some heavy stuff. That's huge though. It's these moments of extreme pressure where you find a way. And I knew that I was going to find a way. And so I had an epiphany, okay? I had to change who I currently was. I couldn't be Mather. That's what my friends call me. It's what people just called me back then. I was Mather. And I couldn't be that person. I had to kill Mather and become Jordan, the person I wanted to become, the person that had all these successes, the person that was good at talking in front of people, the person that wanted to get on stage and help other people do the things he did and prevent them from doing all the stupid things that he did. And I did a lot of stupid stuff. I still do a lot of stupid stuff, but I feel like I'm smarter about doing stupid stuff. Man, anyway, so I failed again. I had to swallow that, and I realized that I needed to double down on what was working. I was making money with marketing. I was getting good at it. I was driving so much traffic, getting great click rates. The cost per click was really low. I was good at it. I could drive traffic to anyone's website. I knew that. I felt really good about it. So I killed Mather. I stopped watching TV. I stopped playing video games. I stopped going out as much. I still do, just to see my friends, just because there's some people that I don't want to lose. But at the end of the day, I had to change who I was. I had to change my habits. And I had to work really freaking hard to do it. So my plan was to double down on marketing, get really good at it. So I spent every cent I have. And I didn't spend like a little chunk. I spent every cent I had on buying courses, on buying books, so I could become the best digital marketer I knew, and just the best one out there, so I can go and make a name for myself and start making some serious money. Because at this point, it's been 5 years. I've been scraping the bottom of the bucket for 5 years, and I was done with it. I was going to make a bunch of money. I was going to become the best at marketing, and that was just it. That was all I was going to do. That was the plan. Just go and be the best. So I did that for a while. I took one of my courses. He said, just post on your Facebook. Just post that you just learned all this new stuff and you want to practice on someone, and you'll do it for free. And a couple of businesses actually reached out to me, and they're like, yeah, I'd love for you to do my marketing, especially if it's for free. People will do that. And I gave them a free month, and then they started paying afterwards. And I worked with them for about 6 months. And numbers were great. I was getting so many clicks, so many website visits, all of the vanity, all the cool metrics that marketers talk about that are all flashy, and they're all baloney, One of my clients, they said, okay, yeah, all these numbers look great, but none of these people are actually becoming patients. And then I kind of started just regurgitating all the fluff that I heard someone else say. It was like, oh, it takes on average 7 impressions before someone will actually buy from you, and just regurgitating all this nonsense that's not actually true. And I left that meeting with kind of a bad taste in my mouth, because it was like, holy crap, I can do all these things, or drive all this traffic to people and get really good clicks, but they aren't converting, which is the only thing that matters in marketing. Are they becoming customers? Are they giving you money? That's the only thing that matters. That's the only metric that matters in marketing. And this was kind of devastating for me. I didn't, this was huge, because I just realized that I went all in on this marketing thing, and then I wasn't as good as I thought I was, because I was paying attention to all the metrics that most agencies want people to pay attention to, because you can make them look good without them actually being good. And I came to the realization that it's like, I have been focusing on the wrong things, and I had to make a change. And I did, quickly, because this is now my only source of income. I had to find out and master how to get people to convert, actually become patients, give my clients money, and actually bring them in the door. And I learned that through Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. Funnels are how you take people that have never heard of your business and create a seamless automated system to actually get them to buy from you. Okay? It's not just focused on a website. A website's just a brochure that you're handing someone and hoping that they take action. Doesn't make sense. You guys, if you were a business owner and let's say you're having a convention, right? And you hired a couple salespeople to go there and try to recruit new clients. And if your salesperson is walking up to someone, just handing them a brochure, then like backing off and kind of running away, you would fire that person so fast. That is a horrible salesperson. Yet that's what we're doing when we just set up a website. Okay? So once I dove into Russell and had this epiphany of how amazing, the science of offer creation and funnel or customer pathways or sales pipelines are, that's when it really clicked. And that's when I spent, again, every cent I had on more and more training, because mastering offer creation and how to get people to actually buy from you online, that's where the magic lies. And that is all I focused on after that. But that was devastating, guys. That almost killed me when I found out that, oh my God, I'm not actually as good as I thought I was. This was horrifying. But once I figured out how to actually get people to buy from you and how to tell stories that resonate with people, that actually make them convince themselves to buy from you, that's when magic happened, okay? That's when we started growing, actually getting that first hockey stick curve, going from making like nothing every single month to making some real money. being able to actually go and buy real food and eat healthy for the first time. And it was huge, okay? And once we started getting momentum, so people started hearing from us, that's when my whole life changed. That's UpDoc Media. They wanted us to come in and join them and build UpDoc Marketing. And UpDoc Media, they're one of the biggest media companies in the physical therapy space. They're huge. And being able to come in and be a part of that changed my life. And that transformed who I was. Okay? I finally had that, like, I did it moment where it's like, I'm making money. I'm not fighting for my freaking life on a monthly basis. I'm finally, like, being able to spend more and more time, not just grinding the midnight oil, working all night, every day, all day, not seeing my friends, not seeing my family, having to make up excuses to miss events because I have to get something done for a client. Now I'd finally figured out the formula that allowed me to, 1, get results for my clients, 2, make more time for myself. So now I can actually go and spend time with my grandpa or see my cousins' kids, and spend time with my mom and dad, and see my friends and keep those relationships. So this is huge, you guys, and this journey has been insane. And to kind of wrap this up, these are the journeys that people go on that actually get them to where they want to be. It's never anyone that says that they were just an overnight success. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. You have to go through this long and grueling process of getting just beaten up until one day you have an epiphany. You figure out, oh, this is what I have to do. And then you double down on it and make it happen. The key is, though, when you have those epiphanies, you have to act on it. Most people, they don't do that. But you have to. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it for your future self, and accept that you're going to be uncomfortable and you're going to be in unknown waters for a little while. But I promise you, if you can get through that and keep pushing and just never, ever give up, and don't allow all these noises around you to get to you, if getting a job or asking someone else for money isn't an option, it's going to force you to figure it out on your own. And that's where the magic is, figuring it out. You have to create these scenarios where you have no option. Really common phrase thrown around is, who was it? Cortez, I believe. If you want to win the war, you got to burn your boats. That's kind of overused and honestly a little cheesy, but it's so true. If you want to get somewhere, you got to not give yourself an option to fail. And if that's true for you, that you have no other option, then you are going to figure it out. That's simple. You have to create those scenarios for yourself. So that's my story, you guys. I've never, ever told that story. I've never actually been honest about some of the things that you go through in this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is episode 2. Episode 2, baby. Hopefully I can keep it up. Keep me accountable. If I'm not doing it, please reach out to me and just yell at me. I got to keep doing this because that's the only way I'm going to get to the point where I am the person who I want to become. So stay on me. And if there's anything you want to ask me about, anything you want me to talk about on one of these shows, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Later, guys.